So this is my interpersonal YouTube video for class, and up on deck first is my sister. Okay, Emily. Basically, I just want to kind of go over and talk about long distance relationships. It can be a friendship or an actual relationship with a boy or whatever, whoever, doesn't matter. First thing I just want to ask is, if you have a relationship in mind, how much did you care about preserving that relationship before you or the other person went away?
A lot. I mean, left with the intention of it working, and every time I'd come home, the intention of seeing them again.
Okay.
And talking throughout the distance.
Okay, how often did you, while you were away, how often did you communicate with the person that you have in mind?
Texted.
That's kind of my other question is how frequently, how often, and what method did you use to communicate?
Texting for the most part, and called occasionally, and then FaceTime occasionally. Okay,
yeah. This is kind of an interesting little piece that I read about in one of my books for this semester. Did money have an effect at all on how frequently you saw this person? What did a financial situation between you or this person ever arise? Basically, did, like, in terms of getting in the way of your being able to hang out or talk or whatever?
Through technology, no.
I think that's pretty common.
Yeah, but I mean, like, through, like, actually traveling to see them, yeah.
In terms of, could the person afford to come see you or...
No.
Or, right. Okay, what gender was the person that we're talking about?
Male.
Was it a male? Okay.
Yes.
Was it more important to stay in contact or to physically be with the person in question? So that is to say, it's pretty obvious for most people, but was the relationship, as far as the strength of the relationship, more weighted towards just being in contact, or was the physical aspect that was lacking because it was long distance, did that end up really being the thing that hurt the relationship?
I'd say so.
So the fact that you weren't together really kind of messed everything up.
In a way.
Okay.
It's a big contributing factor.
Right. Was there a lot of depth to this relationship before you moved away? And is there still a lot of depth? And was the depth or lack thereof, or perceived lack thereof, strengthened by your separation, or did that in fact contribute to the demise of the relationship?
Words. It...
Basically, did it help or hurt? Did your separation help or hurt? And that's pretty obvious based off what you said already.
I mean, separation hurt because, yeah, not being able to see someone face to face and connect with them on a certain level really did make it
sink the ship.
Yeah.
Right. In my own personal experience, I had this happen as well years ago with a girl that I was very fond of. So, and you know that.
Yeah.
So the separation is what put the nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
So, okay, cool.
Awesome.
Thank you. All right, part 2. This is Damon. Same kind of series of questions. how much did you care about preserving the friendship that you were basically separated from this person? Like, how necessary or important was it, or is it for you?
I mean, it's very important to me. Relationships in general. Me personally, if I choose to have a relationship with someone, I'm going to want that to last, and it's going to hold more gravity than just like a casual Facebook friend or somebody I see at Publix,
Right. How frequently did you or do you communicate, and what methods of communication do you use with this particular relationship?
I talk to him. He lives in California now, so he's in the military. He moves around a lot, so I talk to him through texting or Facebook message about once a week to 3 weeks. I mean, pretty infrequently considering when we lived in the same town, we saw each other every day, but that was 3 years ago.
Okay. Did financial obligation, money, or whatever, did that ever have an effect on your relationship in terms of your being able to see each other? Was or is that an issue now at all?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, mostly traveling, obviously long distance. When he lived in Auburn, he would want to go to the football games or something. I couldn't just drive up there and pay for, the $200 in gas it would take to get there and back, the hotel room, the ticket, and all that stuff. So, and he obviously can't just fly down to Florida every week.
So this is obviously a pretty close friendship, unlike Emily, who was speaking about an ex-boyfriend. So that's to answer the gender question. This is a friend of yours.
Yeah, it's my buddy George.
George.
He lives in Auburn.
So is it more important for you to stay in contact with him or to be with him? That it works a little bit differently, I guess, because it's not a romantic relationship, but obviously you'd like to see him and be with him when you can, but is it more necessary for you to keep up with him consistently, or do you need to be around him all the time? And, that's probably obvious, but...
Well, no, actually, I think that because it's such a good, close friendship, and most people who have really good friends, like I know you and your brother have friendships with the Reddings who live down in Fort Myers, and you have the same type situation. It's more important to me, honestly, to just touch base with him every now and then, keep up with him, see where he is, because even if I only see him once a year, I know that whenever we meet up, it's going to be just like old times. We're going to be updated, and then it'll be like we saw each other yesterday. So I think that communication is extremely important.
Yeah. And I would bounce off that. I think Jacob may end up talking about the Reddings, but I would say that that's very much the case with me as well. I need to be able to talk to them, semi-frequently, but being around them is cool, and when we get to, it's awesome, but that's not really 100% necessary to keep the relationship thriving, to keep the relationship healthy. Okay, was there a lot of depth to your relationship? I asked Emily this as well. Before you moved apart from each other, is there still, and has your relationship improved in terms of strength or whatever since moving away? I know he's gone through some stuff you've told me about before, so just...
I don't know about if it's improved or not. We had an incredibly close friendship. We confided a lot in each other. We leaned on each other through sort of the hard times and the good times of going through college. So, but now that he's moved away, I would say being apart, only seeing him about once a year or so for the past 3 years, I'd say we've grown apart a little bit. Like, we're not as close as we used to be, but I wouldn't necessarily say, like absence makes the heart grow fonder or something. So that I don't buy into that. I think that because of the distance, we've sort of cooled a little bit. But I think, like I said, if we saw each other tomorrow, we'd be just like old times, like nothing ever changed.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's accurate as well that when that absence makes the heart grow fonder, old cliche is kind of it's kind of silly because that's not really, at least in my experience, that hasn't been accurate. When I'm away from people for extended periods of time, I tend to fade. The heat tends to fade.
You forget them almost.
Yeah.
You're real forgetful.
Yeah. So, all right, man. Cool beans. Thanks.